One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because I read all your stuff at Tom E. Curran on Twitter as well. I read all your stuff on NBC Sports Boston. And you wrote a piece, Tom Brady's bump still doesn't ensure he'll finish in New England. The bump being his bump and raise this year, bump in salary this year, and then whatever the 2 years do hold for the extension. Here's this line here, man, that got me. Quote, it's a deal that allows the Patriots to save face because if Brady were to go into his walk year with a salary far smaller than much lesser quarterbacks, it would have looked bad. And to be frank, Brady may not have done it. What is that, Tom?
I think everything was on the table. You know, as the negotiation, which the Patriots really dallied in beginning, as it got underway, little progress was being made, and some of the first forays into trying to put something in front of Brady and his agent to make it work were actually minimal raises with incentives. And if you remember 2018, they gave him 5 incentives to hit for $1 million each, and they were hard to hit. They gave him 5 more this year, and they were going to be even harder to hit. And this is with, reduced offensive weaponry around him. So there was a level of frustration and throwing up the hands with it until there was resolution. So I don't think, look, Tom Brady, and I wrote this in another column, push comes to shove, he's not going to fold his arms and say, I ain't coming in for regular season games. But I think the frustration level at this juncture, as he was continuing to prepare for the season, and no progress was being made, I think that it's interesting to see the timeline of the Patriots heading to Detroit and the contract getting resolved.
Yeah. So, he wouldn't have held out into regular season games, do you think? I mean, and I guess it's a moot point, but we know, knowing him, I played a soundbite from 5 years ago in the first hour of our program where he was telling Andrea Kramer before the 2014 season that, yeah, he thinks about getting cut by the Patriots all the time, and that if he thought he could still play and a team didn't think he could, maybe he could find another team that would take him. Mm-hmm. I think he still has that mindset. He still has that mindset right now. All this tells me.
There was a huge concern of his during Deflategate when folks around him would speak. He finally reached out to the people around him who would assail the commissioner and said, "Hey, please stop. You're not helping me. If I ever want to play someplace else, I don't want to be blackballed around the league for the things that have been said. That stuff happens." So, yes. The short answer is yes. And I can't categorize or characterize Tom Brady as having been on the verge of a walkout, but I think the frustration level put everything on the table, Rich.
Well, at least he got something done for 2019. Walk me through how it works from here on out, Tom.
It's fascinating because one of the give-backs to Brady and giving him the raise, but no real extension to it, was he didn't want to be franchised. He wanted to have autonomy for the first time in his NFL career, where somebody wouldn't have hold over him. And he was able to get that put in a clause, as Ian Rappaport reported. It's funny because it came out so murkily at first. And my supposition when I, learned about it, reported on it, as others were as well, my supposition was, okay, that $30 million and $32 million in 2020 and 2021, they're never going to pay him that anyway. They're going to come back to the table and ask to cut it down. So those are placeholder years. They're not even placeholder years. They are full-on ghost years, just places to dump part of his salary cap hit this year to reduce it. He does, when that contract expires, it's gone. He is a free agent even for a heartbeat until the new one takes effect. So he has the autonomy that he wanted. What he decides to do with it is fascinating. What the Patriots decide to do with one of the best quarterbacks in the league, who's in the walk year of his contract, and can still get value for him, might do, is fascinating to consider, too. I think everything, both sides, is currently on the table, Rich.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.